Hello, 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 and welcome to the Bada Show. Good to see all of you out there on the internet, but even better to see this guy right here in the bottom square, my co-host and partner in crime, Chris. What a week, huh? What a nutty,
Hey.
crazy
Oh,
week
no
it has been.
joke.
Oh, dude, listen,
It's been a week of 2 weeks.
it's exactly. It's been something else. It's one to
Mm-hmm.
wear on the soul. And because we have so much to discuss about what happened over the week, I do want to be very clear and transparent with the audience about our absence last week because we don't like missing shows. That's not good
No.
bada business, is it? Uh,
Mm-mm-mm.
so if you don't
No, no, no,
mind,
no, no.
permit me to kind of double dip here because with this transparency and honesty I'm giving the viewers out there, one thing we'd love to do is show them how the sausage is made. Maybe a little glimpse into
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
friendship behind the scenes. So, me and you are text animals. We're text hogs. We're always
It's
sending
true.
messages back and forth. And I noticed something about one of my neighbors I immediately had to contact you about. And that was while I was enjoying a nice, calm morning before work. I was on my porch, my patio, if you will, and I see across the way glimmering lights, shining lights that can only resemble
Hmm.
the form of one thing. And that would be something that we've discussed months ago as far as etiquette, the Christmas tree. So as you can see here, I said, "Hey
Mm-hmm.
man," and I quote, "On the next Bada Bin, festive or fail, Dave performs a Bada B&E to see if his neighbor still has a tree." Well, I try to be a man of my word as much as I can, and I decided to go investigate. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
sneak
Mm-hmm.
in and perhaps see if it was in fact the Christmas tree, because really, how else can you tell without going in and getting that visual evidence of your own? You know what I mean?
Of
Um,
course. Of course.
Unfortunately, that was last Friday, and I'm not the most nimble, the most fleet of foot, and my Bada B&E went a little haywire, went a little awry, and
Went awry.
yes, thank you,
Askew.
askew, and I needed to call you for help. Namely, I needed to
Mm-hmm.
call you for some Bada bail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not in good company and definitely needed some rescuing after my attempt to find out if it was legitimately a Christmas tree. So thank you for bailing me out of the clink before anything nasty happened, before I was potentially deflowered, what have you. I mean, who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
Mm-hmm.
The night was young.
Could have got wrecked.
I could have gotten whoa, yes, indeed, I could have gotten something. Yes, right. But you saved the day, so that's why we weren't
Hmm.
around last week. I was too busy running my cup, singing "Nobody
Nobody
knows
knows.
the trouble I see." And yeah, Chris luckily is a man of means and paid my bail of $67.22. So the court date
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
upcoming. We'll see what happens. I still don't know if it's really a Christmas tree or not. But restraining order probably prevents me from ever finding out. You
By
know?
the time the trial happens, it'll be Christmas time again. So it'll be a moo point.
Yes, yes, indeed. But yeah, so sorry, guys, about
Hmm.
last week. But we're here today. We got a pulse pounding packed episode with some reviews. Chris went
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
did a little impromptu hunt and got some goodies.
I did.
And yeah, all the good stuff in the Bada Bin manner. We are here for you. But Chris, man, we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
some of the other woes. Do you want to kind of hit the other topics of the I'm trying to think of the good way or articulate way to put the crap pie that has fallen into your
Oh.
lap over the course of the last 7 days.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm trying to take certain phrases out of my vernacular, namely when it rains, it pours, because every time I do, something
Mm.
else happens.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a. I feel like I've aged a decade in the past couple of weeks. We had a sick dog at the house. Ever since we started building the pool, she's very, very sensitive.
Right.
So the noise, the people. I mean, when they're jackhammering literally like 2 or 3 feet away from your house is gonna shake a bit, and it did a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and when that went for, I think it was 23 and a half hours between 2 days,
Wow.
it messed the poor girl up. Yeah, so she wasn't eating, wasn't going to the bathroom, wasn't doing any of the stuff that dogs and all living organisms are supposed to do. So that was very, very difficult. Um, had her into the vet, tried medicine, tried different foods. Big mishigas, but she's getting better now, thankfully. Um, the other day, as well, actually before that, we had our guy come out to take a look at the work that was done on the pool because we've had plumbing done, we've had electricity done, we've had steel work done, and the steel work is basically making a skeleton inside this giant ditch in the ground.
Okay.
So it's like rails, it's like rails of steel
The
that are like
framework of the
bent
whole thing,
and
right?
just basically,
Yeah.
basically. And so we did this, and it's been like a week of that. And our guy comes out and he's like, "Hey, there's a flaw in it." So uh, that sets us back. The steel guys had to come back. They came back today. I don't know what they did, but they were here. And our guy's coming back out on Monday to reinspect. Hopefully, we'll get the thumbs up. But then it goes into the hands of the city, and then we have to wait for the city to come in and say, "Yeah, this looks like a hole in the ground. Go ahead and make a pool."
It's the correct radius. I
And
see the right proportions here of your kolache.
it's a hole. Yeah, they dip their hand in. Yeah, it's a hole. Yeah, yeah. I could see water in here
Yeah.
eventually.
Right.
But that's visit one of two for the state or the city. So I don't know what kind of timetable they work on or operate under or what. So it could be like, hey, we called the city, they'll be here today, or hey, we called the city, they'll be here in August.
Yeah.
Don't know. So we're kind of beholden to that. And on top of that, the other day, there are certain things that happen in your home that will just make all the hair on your neck stand up and just really, really freak you out. Things like, like the chirping of a smoke alarm and you don't know what room it's in. So
Yeah,
you're
right.
waiting, and like anytime you enter a room, it like refuses to chirp. It's like it was just chirping like every 3 seconds. Now it
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah. It's gaslighting
And
you. That's what it's doing.
it is.
Mhm.
It is. It is. So I had something even scarier than that because I was walking around the house here, and usually when I walk down one of the hallways here, there is a vent, and when the air conditioner kicks on, boom, hey, air's hitting me, and it's like, oh, okay, it's air. In Arizona, when you walk past one of these vents and it's blowing warm air,
Oh no.
ah,
Yeah. You'd be cooking alive, brother.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
dude, back in like 2015, a couple of houses ago, we had that happen, and it was like hey, we'll fix this in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, inside the house, it was like 115 degrees.
Living in an
It's hot.
Emerald air fryer. That's what you're
Dude.
doing. Boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were living in a short, long-term hotel actually,
Wow.
but dude, it was terrible. Um, but it's like I felt that warm air hit, and I looked at the thermostat, and we have it set at like 77, and it's at 80, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay, it's like not only, I mean, it's the end of June or mid June right now. It's only 103 here today.
That's all.
And I say only. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it
Come on.
will get to 118, 121, 124. Um, so when that warm air hits, it's like, oh God. And everybody's getting their air conditioners looked at right now. And you're on someone else's timetable again. And it was like, oh God, what do I do? And I work in the house now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can't even there's nowhere to go. So I'm gonna be stuck here working, 8 hours a day. So it's just like all these thoughts hitting. And on top of hearing that there's a flaw in the steel and the dog is still sick and not eating. Oh my God,
Well,
dude.
maybe
Just
you should quit reading comics and instead read books on HVAC veterinary medicine
I
and kolache.
Yep.
You know,
And Kalachi, yeah,
kolache.
just
That's what it's
make it
kolache.
all my own. I don't know how to say it. I put an extra atch on it.
Okay.
But
Well, I can
but
say
the air
this.
conditioner thing is kind of okay.
Okay.
We had a guy. They came out the same day, which shocked the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a bunch of stuff wrong with it because it's an Arizona air conditioner, and that's kind of the way it goes. But he was able to rig it, so we're still good. We get the new part in Monday, so hopefully Monday everything will be good. And then my wife's car broke down.
Ah, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna, but what's going through my head right now.
Yep.
Exactly what you
Mm-hmm.
said not to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
boy, Goya. Oh
Dude.
boy. What a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
you know what though? Maybe this
I mean,
you're gonna turn a corner, and you're gonna win the lottery.
yeah. I mean, we're here now. We're here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I got my skis shined up and a stick of juicy fruit.
There
I think
you go.
we're ready
Well,
to go, right?
maybe I don't know if it's helpful or not, but I can
Hmm.
explain why your pool situation is such a mess and
Yes.
how it
Hit me.
became such a disaster. Well, here's a live look in rather at the
Okay.
workers actually chipping away at
Cheap.
the kolache right here. So, oh no, as you can see, it is the team behind Hush 2. Batman
Oh
and
no.
Mr. Elliot himself. Yeah. Oh, no wonder why your pool can't get done
Oh
correctly. Oh,
man, that the pool knew how Hush wanted it to be dug.
oh, it's a money
He,
grab.
the pool did exactly what Hush wanted it to do.
Oh Lord. Oh
Oh.
yes, exactly. Yes. Oh, so at least we know now. Well, we know now why
Mm,
it's been a failure, and there's problems with the whole thing, and the city has to come out, and
yeah.
everything else. You get the wrong people
Hmm.
digging the damn hole. You know?
It's true.
Oh,
It's damn
woof.
true.
It is damn true. But
Hmm.
hey, man, as I said, hopefully, like you said, we're here now, and things will, take a
We are
turn for the
here.
better. You know, do you
Hmm.
play scratch tickets ever? Have you decide to do so?
No,
Well, maybe now's the time to start.
it might be.
Are you
Might
afraid
be.
of heart
Gonna
disease
have
or
to.
cholesterol? Start eating greasy foods. You'll be immune. You know.
Well, I do have a leaky valve,
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
but
right. You do
but
have
not
that
one of the
thing.
important ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we shouldn't test it
one of the
after
ones
all
that
then.
don't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
One of the ones that don't matter. It's all right.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, what a bummer of a week. But again, all the good vibes will
Yeah.
be coming to you via the Bada Bin good vibes. Hopefully, they will heal all that ails you. And, the dog will get better, and the car will get better, and the
Hmm.
ground beneath your feet will get
Yeah,
better. And the rest, as they say, is, gravy.
a mystery. Yeah.
Oh, or that. Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could solve your problems. I really wish I could, but I
Me
have
too.
no. Well, I told you to start
I
reading the
take
damn
it.
books. Read the damn books. Come on now. Speaking of reading the damn books, you want to go over some of the
Yeah.
comics that I read while I was sitting in
Let's do
prison,
it.
waiting for you to show up
Sure,
and
sure.
bail me out? All right. Well,
You're reading the you're reading the Ziggy strip tattooed on that guy's back.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was convenient. It was right down there below me.
Yeah.
Hey, you got high and lowest down
Ziggy's
here?
at the complaint department again. Yeah.
Exactly. You got any high and lowest? Hey, man, you got any Garfield in your armpit? What's going on here? Yeah. Well, you just mentioned
Not a
it.
Beetle Bailey.
Oh no, Kathy. What? No, I don't want Kathy.
Oh.
Yeah, no one read Kathy. I
No.
mean, really. You just mentioned your air conditioning is going. It's the beginning of June or the middle of June. I should say middle because it's my birthday next week. Celebrate,
It
celebrate.
is.
Ooh, and we
Mm-hmm.
are amidst the summer of Superman here. It is still large and in
Mm-hmm.
charge and kicking. So, of course, I had to dig in on the latest the latest issue, rather. Boy, I can't speak tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think your stories of
It's all
woe
good.
really sucked my soul out of my face there, buddy. I was even like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know. But anyway, Superman number 26. I've been a fan of this series since the jump. I've really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed the Dickens out of it, but the real question is here, will it continue? So, you know what? I will not leave you in suspense any longer. Here is my review of Superman number 26. After reading this ish, my initial thought was Joshua Williamson must have spent a day soaking up soap operas before starting this script. Subplots reign supreme in Superman number 26. Lois losing her powers, Lena Luthor leaving, Mercy maintaining her menace mantle, Zod on the ropes, Red K chaos, Evil Legion at the end of time, Lex making a pact with a pair of foes, plus the return of Marilyn Moonlight. Holy smokes. I should have hired the Micro Machine guy to handle a recap. You definitely get your money's worth out of this book. There's a big problem here, though. The art. We had the patron saint of illustration, Dan Mora, doing divine work on art duties. A magnificent era for the Man of Steel was upon us. Sweet baby biscuits, I can see the light. Then, poof, we've been hit with a hodgepodge of pencilers that, while talented in their own right, don't feel like a fit and can't hold a match to the might of Mora. Sadly, disjointed visuals suck the life out of a story destined to win a daytime Emmy. So there you have it. Story's still kicking butt.
Who was the artist?
It was a hodgepodge here of artists.
Oh, really? Okay.
Barrows, Izaki, Ferreira, Sanchez. I can actually tell you because that includes the inkers there as well.
Ink is, yeah.
So bear with me. But dude, it just didn't fit, and that was the big problem. You really get quite a setup going forward, is what
Yeah.
what you're going to be expecting in the pages of Superman, and it just wasn't cohesive. You didn't feel the continuity in the artwork. Eddie Barrows, Eber
Yeah.
Ferreira, and I was right, Sean Izakci.
Isaacs? Or,
Isaacs.
Yeah.
There. Joe Isuzu.
I don't know how to say it. I know who you're talking about, though.
It's Izaakse.
KSE?
Yes. So there you have it. So you know what? What's the last issue of Superman that you have read? What are you caught up on?
25. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
26 should be here next week. Yeah.
All right. So I hope I didn't really spoil anything for you there
No,
necessarily.
I mean, it's kind of paint by numbers. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of, I mean, like you can tell where it's going to go, for the most part, anyway. I don't know if I talked about this on the air or not, or even with you. This whole summer of Superman branding,
Mm-hmm.
I think they think this is going to help movie people get into the comics.
We have discussed that
But
because that was
if all-
one of the
have we?
motives. Yeah. Yeah, because it was one of the
But-
motives
but
of
like-
Dan Slott.
But yeah, but if you go into a comic shop after seeing a movie and then see like 6 or 7 books with Summer of Superman branding on it,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to know what to pick up?
No.
Are you going to know? Are you going to like think it's all the same like crossover? Are you going to think that all these stories are linked and connected when they're not? Are you going to go in and buy the book called Superman, or are you going to buy the book called Superman Unlimited? You're probably going to want to buy Superman if you went to see a movie called Superman. I don't understand any of this. And I mean, that's way above my pay grade, but I feel like if they're trying to ignite a little bit of synergy, first of all, you have the book called Superman. Don't put a mishmash of artists on it. If you might be getting new eyes, you put the money beats up front. You know, you put your star, because that's going to be your gateway. That's going to be your entry point for any poor idiot who wanders into a comic shop and is like, "Hey, I just saw a movie. Do you have a Superman comic?"
Mm-hmm.
You don't give them something that's a mishmash. And you don't point them over to a book that's not called Superman. It's like, oh, you want Superman Unlimited? No.
Well, I wonder.
No,
Well,
I
hey,
don't understand it.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, Dan Mora might finally be tired for all we know because he's still doing the interiors on Justice League Unlimited.
Sure. But
which-
I mean, he's not the only super talented artist out there.
No, no, not at
Don't make it.
all.
Don't make the Superman book during the summer of Superman. Don't make Superman feel like a filler,
Hmm.
art wise.
Oh yeah,
You know,
hundred
story can be
percent.
great, but it's like you don't make it a jam book when it is the book. It's the only DC movie, right, coming out.
Correct.
Hopefully, so you want people to see this book, and you want people to buy this damn book. And when they do, you don't want them to be like, I can't follow this because A, it's in the middle of a story that has nothing to do with a summer of Superman, and B, it has Skady 800 artists on it.
Okay, let me ask you a
I don't know,
question.
and it's $5.
Yeah, well, that's that's tricky right there too, right? You're assuming the moviegoer that spent whatever 10, 15 bucks on a ticket to the movies is willing
This
to
is
spend
very
$5 on a
hypothetical.
comic, right? Here's another
Yeah,
hypothetical
very
for you.
hypothetical.
Let's say you're the dude working behind the counter at that comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
That I forget what you call them. That hapless idiot ever wanders in.
Yeah,
I just saw the movie.
the poor fool. Yeah,
I want the comic, man. What are you recommending? Would you say to them, okay, well, look, this is Superman Unlimited. It is geared towards this audience for you. Buy this.
this
Or,
is a jumping on point.
right. Or
Yeah.
would you recommend something that's been fairly quality? I mean, aside from the fact of the hodgepodge of artists here
Mm-hmm.
with the main book, or would you just
Sure.
say, skip this? Let's go to the back issues, baby, and
I
find
think you'd
something
have to
better.
send them to the trades.
Okay.
You'd have to send them to the trades. You could send them to the first trade of the Williamson run because that was very friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very easy onboarding. Of course, there's still 100 years of continuity that's picked and chosen and might be there, might not be there. But it was an easy to follow story. It was very bright. It was very light. It was good. Maybe send them to that. Because like what from what you've told me about Unlimited, I feel like that talks down to people, and I haven't read it yet. And I mean, what? It's like here's a book. Oh, Lois is Superwoman. What is this?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's jumping
You
in
know,
now is tougher for someone fresh,
and
you know?
it's like, and the entire industry is like half pregnant right now. It's like they want to do this easy entry for people, but they're still like keeping with odd choices. I mean, not saying that the Lois as Superwoman isn't a valid story to approach or check out or play out, but I mean, this movie dropping is not a surprise. You
No,
know,
they've known about
clearly
it
they've
for a
been working on
long
this
time, yes.
this piece of crap for a while, right? I mean, it's going to be here whenever. So maybe make the books a little bit more accessible when the movie comes out. Don't just put a number 1 on something.
Mm. Well,
Fantastic Four.
yes, that's one of the biggest culprits. But in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, maybe that might be more in tune to what you're kind of suggesting DC is doing or should do with Superman. You know what I mean? The new number one.
Because
It's going to be an
if
easy
you're gonna
jump
do
on
it,
point.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're not, then don't launch an Unlimited. Just keep the books you've got, because clearly that's to get more people in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna play it that way, play it the whole way.
Well, I want to show you
You're
something
trying to
else.
make everybody happy. Sure.
Because something that I've noticed over the last couple months, uh, comics, Marvel and DC are both doing this in their titles, and it's very old school. So I can see where it's kind of, bent or aimed at the whole nostalgia vibes for maybe guys our age, readers of a certain vintage. But they're
The
bringing
only
back.
people still buying this crap.
Well, like here is a Welcome to Metropolis, right? And it's going to tell you the comings and goings of what's happening in the Superman titles, interviews with the creators, things of that
Oh, the
nature.
bullpen stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the bullpen stuff. But to me, it's very antiquated because with social media and all of our information coming so fast, so furious, and immediately, we don't need this kind of stuff in comics anymore like we did 20
No.
plus years ago.
No, and it's all out of date by the time it hits the stands anyway,
Exactly. Right.
because
That's
it's
what
already
I'm trying
been
to imply.
broken. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand why they put it in there, but even then, when I was reading this book, I'm like, this kind of feels out of place now. You know what I mean? It just feels weird to have this in here.
Oh yeah.
And again,
Not that
it's 2025. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I
So,
mean, the industry is a little too self-aware and a little too proud of itself.
mm,
Where I think like something like this could be charming, but it's probably as soulless as it looks.
shallow, definitely
Oh
shallow.
yeah, shallow soul. It's half-assed like Marvel Legacy was. Hey lol, here's your value stamp.
Yeah. Let's harken back to the 60s and 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, yeah, it was pretty weak. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm against it completely. I mean, whatever. It's in the book. It's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hurting anybody.
Sure.
But maybe I don't know. I could probably think of a few different things I'd rather see in those pages than the Metropolis, Welcome to Metropolis stuff.
Throw another ad in there and cut 50 cents off the book.
Wouldn't that be
Price.
something? That'd be freaking great. Holy
Imagine.
moly! Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because dude, so expensive. It's ridiculous. Thank God for
Mm-hmm.
mail order and my discounts. Even
No
then, though, I
joke.
am trying to cut back a little bit on my current pull, just because
Sure.
good old Dave over here has a family vacation coming up in about a month and a half, and I can only
Mm-hmm.
imagine when I start to budget for that trip, and my wife's looking at my bank account, going, "How much did you just spend on comics this month, dude? What did you just spend?" So I'm like, maybe I should gradually kind of wean myself down off some of the titles I don't necessarily need, or bite on some of the books that I may not really be 100% fully interested in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I was gonna show you something real quick to kind of break up the reviews. Actually,
Sure.
if you don't mind, give me 1 second to queue up the thing. But I think this is making for a good segue, because
Mm-hmm.
speaking of things that are um, new things that are going to be coming out, you have complained quite a bit about the absolute logos being completely
Oh yeah,
plain.
they suck.
Yeah, just not having anything, going with them. Well, I noticed through Google that it already been announced the new
Mm-hmm.
Batman series from Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. They have shown their logo, and this is about a week or so ago, so it is old news probably for a lot of
Okay.
people. But I'm like, this is a
I
logo.
haven't seen it.
Oh, you're gonna hate it. So here we go. Here's your response to it right now. I'm gonna show it to you. This is gonna be the new Batman logo. Let me know when you can see it on the screen,
Okay.
please.
Gotta give me a few seconds here. I
A
think we're on
little
like
bit
a
of
little
delay.
bit of a lag.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Anything yet?
Gotta play the Jeopardy music here. Not yet.
Oh wow, this is
Not yet.
the internet is failing us mightily this evening, huh? In a different form.
There we are.
There you go.
Eh,
Okay. It's only a mild face of disgust. It wasn't exactly the
I mean, because
look I
it's
was
like
100% going for.
it's like is this like Batman Beyond shit? I mean, what is this? Oh,
Listen,
that's bad.
I just think it's very boring. And like you mentioned yet again about the absolute stuff, it's so flat. There's like no energy to
Oh.
it. Um,
Not
Yet, of
everything
course-
has to look like a damn app.
yeah, but the moment it was released, you see people on the socials, man, this is great. I love this logo. And I'm like, there's not a whole hell of a lot to it.
Give me the pat on the head.
Yeah,
Where's my goodie bag?
Yeah, so
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 on logos. Geek Dad's
Oh,
doing logo
Jesus.
reviews now. Look out, you know?
12 out of 10.
Exactly. But I knew that was going to be right up your alley as far as just being like
Oh, it's
filled
horrendous.
with disdain and disgust over the
Oh.
lack of any kind of pizzazz or flair put into that
Is it
whole
is
design.
it broke? Why fix it?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's really
I
going
mean,
on.
is there a
that?
Batman movie coming out with that logo?
No, and I was just going to
Then
say,
why?
there's nothing necessarily cooking with the current Batman logo, right? It's not great. That in
No.
itself is very flat and without any energy too. So it's not like you're
Sure.
really shifting into a new era and using that logo as kind of like the kickstart or to get people's juices flowing.
Yeah.
So why change it? Just like you said, it's just blah meh,
Mm.
But
No, it's like everything is just two colors now.
well, man, just
get
add
it.
some dimension to it. Maybe just make it a little 3D or
Something.
I mean, right? I just turned to grab
Something.
another book, and I'm looking at the classic Incredible Hulk logo here because it's been sitting on my shelf
well,
there for a while. The bricks, you know,
The stony brick.
yeah,
Yeah,
something, add a little pizzazz to it, a little element. I think I've said
some
pizzazz
life.
too much. Some life, thank you. That's what I probably should have said instead. But
You can never say pizzazz too much.
no, you can't. No, you can never be pizzazzed out. You can never
No,
crack
they
enough
gotta zhuzh
sodas.
it up.
What are you drinking?
True that.
What do you got there? Some Shasta Cola?
Some some pamplemousse.
Cheers to your
Pamplemousse
pamplemousse.
LaCroix. Yeah, that's my my movie name, Pamplemousse de LaCroix.
It's got pizzazz. All right,
It does.
let's move on to the next book I have to discuss this evening, and that is
Uh-huh.
Amazing Spider-Man numero cinco, number
Number
5.
75.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. Well, it comes out twice a month. Sometimes it feels that way. That's for sure.
twice a
Um,
day.
but wouldn't that be something? Uh, yeah, now out 62 times a month. Amazing Spider-Man. You know, I don't know how many of these issues I've reviewed thus far on the show. I think only issue 1.
I think just the first one.
So it's
Yeah,
been
the
a little
Seinfeld
bit.
one.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a
Yeah.
little bit since I've dived into
I
Amazing
think you might have given
Spider-Man.
some thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not a full review.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's
Yeah.
time. And it's
Here it
happening
comes.
again right now.
Do
This
it.
year's Free Comic Book Day entry kicked off the latest volume of Spider-Man with a bang. Writer Joe Kelly used that space to showcase he could still weave laughs into Webhead's word balloons. So surprisingly, I was sold on the new Spidey book, despite my disdain of relaunches. I know, it's dangerous to dream. How many times on this program have I pleaded to the powers that be for solid titles featuring tentpole characters? Could this finally be the one? No. Issue 5 of ASM takes us to the end of a first arc that truly fell flat. It's a shame, really, as all the story elements for a decent debut were in place. Yet rather than having any of the heart teased in the freebie, it was straight up cut and paste. I have a healthy respect for Joe Kelly's resume, but instead of fleshing out the new status quo featured in issue 1, he leaned hard into Pete being poisoned. Issues 2 through 4 were mostly hallucinations spliced with flashback scenes from Peter's childhood. Ultimately, those readers patient enough to suffer through pages worth of Spidey seeing pink elephants were rewarded with a herky-jerky hobgoblin yarn starring his sinister soda. All is not lost, however. Artist Pepe Larraz passed the Pepsi Challenge and has been phenomenal as promised. Superstar talent from tip to tail, and quite frankly, the only reason I don't have buyer's remorse. Hopefully the script picks up, or I won't be sticking around. You gotta admire the soda segue we did before this, since the story itself
This is true.
centers around Hobgoblin trying to make people paranoid and freaked out with a tainted version, or his version, of cola.
Huh.
You didn't subscribe to this, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
as I just said, man, you know, if you do decide to check them out, the art is totally gonna knock your socks off.
Oh, Larraz kills it.
Dude,
Larraz,
beautiful
something
artwork.
else.
And
Mhm.
I was so concerned because when this was initially solicited before the series started, it was okay, it's going to be John Romita Jr. and Pepe Larraz. And no sled against John Romita Jr. We've talked about him quite a bit on the show.
Sure, sure.
Classic Spider-Man artist, but when you hold it up next to
course.
Pepe Larraz, it's night and day.
Different
right?
animal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, at the end of issue 1, there is a backup story that John Romita Jr. draws, which is fine.
All right.
But other than that, he hasn't made any artistic appearances on the title. I believe that
Okay.
changes next issue. He will be drawing that issue. So I don't know if it's necessarily to give Pepe a breather.
I wonder if he'll be doing the next 5 issues.
I haven't looked that far ahead,
I don't know.
but
Yeah.
it is, especially with the scripts being as they have been, it's going to be tougher to, in fact, stay subbed to this
You need
book.
the zhuzh.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be hard. But listen, if I know the promise of
We can
Pepe
call
is
him
still
Pepe
there,
Pizzazz.
yes, if Pepe
Pepe
Pizzazz, I like
Pizzazz.
that. Let's stick with that one. I love it. If I can't even say it now. I was going to say Perez. Pizzazz, we know he's back, then it might give me a little bit of inspiration, a little, you know,
Yeah,
hesitant to cancel when I know it's coming back
sure.
around again. You know what I mean? But really, dude, oh my God, the story, I feel like I've been tricked,
Mm.
bamboozled, swindled by Mr.
Hoodwinked.
Joe. Yeah, Joe
Yeah.
Kelly, man. He came out so strong, and then it's just been nothing but fizz, fizz, plop. Like, dude, what are you
Mm.
trying to do to me here? You know what I mean? So I take it as a
So,
personal front to me and my fandom.
yeah, you should. You should. Your fandom and your family.
All of them,
They're just coming
everybody.
after you.
Yes, indeed.
It's weird to stop and think that they're basically putting out a trade every 2 months, 2.5 months. Because trades are 5 issues now.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. I
So
know.
every 2.5 months, there's a new Spider-Man trade being put out, basically. Weird. I guess it's been like that for a while. I just never stopped to
Yeah,
think of
yeah,
it.
well, right. Yeah, to reflect upon it. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Actually, it's funny because there was a trade I just read this week. I'm not discussing it tonight. I'm actually going to save it for
Hmm.
next week's show, so I don't want to kind of spoil what I'm going to be discussing. But
Sure.
just to kind of scratch the surface on it, it's
Hmm.
another one of those Marvel skinny trades. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's gonna be issues 1 through 6 of this series. I didn't know how long the series even ran for, and it wasn't. It was one through
Okay.
five, and I was like, kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It feels like,
That's that's how long the arcs go now, though.
yeah,
No, it's so funny how we were always told we don't write for the trade,
mm-hmm.
but like when arcs ran 6 issues, that was what a trade was, and now arcs run 5 issues, and that's what a trade is.
Gonna keep getting smaller and smaller
Yeah,
too. I bet. Watch, it's gonna be like three
the
issue.
shrinkflation prices ain't going down though.
No, still $15 for
No
120
way.
pages. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, man,
And
like,
half of them are going to be variant covers.
dude, no joke. But I don't want to get into the weeds with the variant thing here because
Sure, sure,
my
sure.
mind will go freaking red and there'll be freaking streamers flying out of my ears. The thing with the Joe Kelly stuff is though, because he did, I think, did a phenomenal job on the freebie, the free comic book day issue and issue one.
Uh huh.
Imagine buying that trade and being like, boom, here we go, baby. Spidey is
Yeah.
back. And then towards the end, you're like, yeah, I spent $15 on this. This is how it ended. Like that. Like, but yet again, thank God for the art. Thank you, Lord. And it's so
Yeah.
weird because how many times, and I'm sure we brought this up on Bada Bin before, it was
Hmm.
always a debate, especially in the 90s. Are you here for the art? Are you here for the
Oh
story?
yeah.
No, I'm totally
Hmm.
here for the story. And that carried on through,
Hmm.
it seems like forever, for over a decade. And now I almost feel like, as a consumer of comics, sometimes these things
Hmm.
shift a little bit. And there are a few titles that
Sure.
I'm sticking around for purely for that just
For the eye
awesome
candy. Yeah.
artistic eye candy. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Spidey with Pepe Larraz is definitely one of them. And, not being familiar with Pepe Pizzazz's work really prior to
Hmm.
this, you were, of course, in the X-Men titles. I feel like,
Sure.
listen, man, I get a nickel for every time I say Dan Mora. Dan Mora is up here, right? He's untouchable. But I think
Hmm.
Pepe
Oh, he's up
maybe
there.
he's
Yeah.
climbing up there as far as just
Oh yeah.
being a smooth operator, baby.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah, he's
Hmm.
fantastic. So,
Absolutely.
alas, wonderful
No,
stuff.
it's it's weird going through like old magazines and stuff and seeing the way the credits were done.
Hmm.
Because like there was a shift in Wizard, if you were following Wizard throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, where for like the first half of Wizard's existence, like Amazing Spider-Man #5 would have been by Pepe Larraz and Joe Kelly.
Hmm.
And then there was a
Right.
shift to where it was like Amazing Spider-Man by Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz. Um, things like the Comics Journal they would like basically do it by like star power. So if it was like Frank Miller drawing it, Frank Miller would get first, first whatever, and if
Billing.
it was like John Byrne writing it, yeah, you
Yeah.
get first billing. And if Byrne was writing it, Byrne would get the because he was the star, he'd get the billing.
Hmm.
So it was a little topsy turvy back in that book, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any anything I'm sticking around for just for the art. I don't know that there is.
Yeah.
Because I stick around for things for different reasons, stupid reasons,
Oh, we all do.
illness related reasons. Yeah.
Diagnosed or undiagnosed?
Self-diagnosed, so undiagnosed.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe a bit of
Yeah.
both. Yeah, man, I was gonna say, speaking of Wizard, like the top 10 writers, top 10 artists, they
Oh
wouldn't want
yeah.
me in charge of that column or that little bit with the photos because Dan Moore would be like,
Sure.
"There's another nickel for me." He would never leave that. He's like, he hasn't drawn a book in 6 months, Dave. Will you stop putting his picture in the damn top 10 artists? I'm like, I can't. I just
We got
can't.
that guy who does Shadowhawk. We want him in the first box.
Yeah, I need Jim Valentino. I think I might have the Jim Valentino song in here. All you have to do
Well,
is say his name 3 times.
I didn't say it.
You know what?
I didn't even say it once.
We're gonna have to change the rules on that. We have to find another word like pizzazz. Say pizzazz 3 times. You're getting the Jim Valentino song. I think I still have it here on the board. Let me see. Oh yeah, I do. Can I just play 2 seconds of it and then stop it? No, I won't do that. I'm not gonna do that to you. I want to, but I'm not gonna do that. All right. So the next review doesn't have a nice little soda, tinge to it, as the
All right.
Spider-Man one did.
I think
but
we might be freezing.
who says?
I think we might be freezing.
Who says
Me.
that? No. You know what? Let me look on the YouTube here. We might be a little bit, but I'll tell you what. I have nothing to say about that. I'll tell you what. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, man. We've been going through video services. I got new Wi-Fi extenders. You know what I mean. That's why I got no money for bail. It's because I'm spending money on this damn show.
It might be the next drop raining on me, for all we know.
Don't say such
I
things.
wonder if Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody out there has a goat, a virgin, something they want to sacrifice to the Dark Lord or whatever deity, is that how you say that right? Deity,
Yeah.
deity that they see fit to prevent Chris from having any more issues, or the Bada Bin show from ever having another technical difficulty. Go for
Hiccup.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do you. Okay, we're not necessarily going to thank you for it on air, but email us badabinshow@gmail.com. Let us know what you did. If you're running around with, chicken's feet or dried rhino penis or whatever you got, whatever remedy you have.
Eye of Newt.
Yeah, exactly. It's Maya Newt. Let us know, and we'll probably try to reward you for it. In the meantime, before that, those emails start pouring in. Let's talk about the next book I have on deck, and that is
Sure.
Absolute Martian Manhunter #3. So, Absolute, man, taking the world by storm. I feel like I talked about this one not too long ago because I did a review #1, I believe. So much for keeping it fresh for the viewership out there, reviewing newer stuff. But unfortunately, I am who I am's, and you get what you get. While there's been a fair amount of hype for the Absolute line, Martian Manhunter has poked his head up and become the social media darling of the lot. Thumbs across the globe furiously tap on touchscreens to pour praise on this title. Not to say it's all unwarranted, I've found the series thus far to be a thought-provoking allegory that uncovers the dirty little hairline cracks in the human psyche. It's the type of comic that evokes an emotional response from the reader long after the final page has been read, albeit an uneasy one. The creators certainly broke the mold when it comes to reinventing the character. That in itself deserves to be celebrated. So many new interpretations of classics tend to be cosmetic or lend themselves to clickbait. Hence why, as Chris and I have discussed in the past, it doesn't feel like Martian Manhunter shares the same DNA with the Absolute Universe. Considering it's published by DC Comics, my instincts immediately file this in the old Gray Matters Vertigo folder. This mental reassignment serves as a complement to the quality of the story. Issue 3 centers around mass murder via mind control and shines light on the White Martian's motive. The origin of the Martian Manhunter itself remains a slow burn, and I'm cool with that. The way it's playing out feels natural or almost in real time. Because of this, you can wait for it, or perhaps it'll never become clear. Mystique is more than acceptable when there's enough meat on the bone elsewhere. Now, by no means will I race to the web and proclaim Absolute Martian Manhunter as the greatest thing I've ever read, but writer Dennis Camp and artist Javier Rodriguez certainly have crafted something unique that stands out from the other mainstream mags lining the shelves. They just need to hang a sign on the front door that says, Absolute and all in need not apply. So there you have it. The deal is, this has been a pretty solid title, 3 issues in, man. But listen, we had talked in the past about the eventual and inevitable Absolute crossover. Okay?
Sure.
I don't know how the hell this is going to fit, or how Absolute Martian Manhunter is going to work into that plan, because it succeeds so well on its own, doing its own thing, that it almost feels like it would be a slight to the book to include this character in said crossover. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
You know?
I can see that.
Yeah, it would feel out of place, So, as I just mentioned, we had said in the past, it feels like a Vertigo book. You had, I don't know if someone else told you this or if it was your own suspicion, I don't recall now, that it might have been initially conceptualized as like a Black Label book, which...
That's something that I had heard like some people talking about at a comic shop.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But you know what? To be honest with you, that makes sense to me. Even though I haven't personally heard that, because of how, yet again, unique and different it is.
Just how different, yeah.
Not only from the Absolute line, but basically any other superhero books going on right now,
It doesn't look like it'll play well with others.
No, not... Okay. I've enjoyed Absolute Superman. I like Absolute Batman. There was a period of time where I thought Absolute Batman was the best in the line, albeit at that point in time I hadn't read Absolute Wonder Woman. But really, I'd mentioned cosmetic changes. In many ways, these changes that they made, like the big deal was, who is Superman without Smallville, without the Daily Planet, without this? And you're like, whoa, you're stripping away the core of the character. What are they trying to do here when you take away essentially what the heart of that Superman is? Yet now
Especially when they've done that a dozen times already.
Well, here's the other thing. We've come to find out Smallville is still in play. You know what I mean? Certain things that they kind of said to us wouldn't be applicable most certainly are. Now, it's just the route of attack, of how they're dealing with it, or approaching it. Whereas, Martian Manhunter is like, woo, open the window, baby.
Okay.
Let's go crazy. Let's completely make this a wild, radical, nutty idea, and it doesn't have to really have any semblance, essentially, to Martian Manhunter himself, or what's going on anywhere within the Absolute line, and on and on and on. So it really is unique, and I feel like that's like pizzazz. Maybe I'm saying it too much, but it's true. So there you go. And then did you end up reading issue 1? You did for the stunt, right? Cause remember you talking about the whole hold it up to the light back page, right?
No, that was Chris Yu.
Oh,
I haven't read it yet.
Ooh,
I've got it. I've got the first 2. I think the third one will be here next week.
Okay. Well, now you got homework.
Yeah.
Because I keep saying that to you. I want to hear your opinions on these things that I'm reviewing, but you're not making time for me.
It's true.
Digging holes in the ground. Going to the auto dealer. Not taking time to read books to respond to moi.
I'll work on it.
Okay. Well, let's work on something else. Because what you have been reading, and you've been sending me images of, are some really old clips, some old news articles from back in the day, more specifically the 1980s. I think it was 1986, so I'll let you take the lead on this. But I'm going to show the image, and it was an early column about your favorite title of all time and creator, Youngblood.
Yeah. Well, I do like Bob Liefeld a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
Bobby.
yeah, I'm sure we've said this before, but it's like, as fake ass comics historians or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
when we see something we didn't know existed, and we think we know a lot about, it really gets you by surprise. And here I am going through the Amazing Heroes 1986 preview comic, or
Mm-hmm.
preview magazine, I guess. And I'm flipping through basically because I was looking, because this is all 1986. Crisis was wrapping up, so I wanted to see what they were saying about the DC titles. Like, is there anything that was not so much solicited but previewed in this book that didn't come to pass? It's like, oh, maybe they had different plans for, I don't know, oh, we're spinning now. Are we back up?
I don't know. I didn't know we were gone.
I saw the little spin wheel thing. Oh, I think we're spinning.
Really?
I
I
think
see.
we are
I see
off
the
the air.
Youngblood thing. Let me cue it up here on my.
I see a spinning wheel.
Let me.
Now it's back.
Maybe it's your internet. Let me transition back into our lovely mugs, our beautiful faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, indeed. And we will see what the YouTube will show. Um,
Yeah, because it went to a black screen with the little spinny
Circle
gimmick.
buffering. We were buffering.
Yeah, that's the word.
I sure as hell
Unless that
hope
was just
not.
me.
It might have been because I haven't seen any lagging or
Let me hit.
buffering on my
I'm
end.
gonna hit refresh.
Yeah, you refresh that. While you're doing that, just so you know, when we were talking about Mr. Bob Liefeld, when I went Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
that is in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
reference to the wonderful late '90s film starring Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro called The Fan. So for any of you fine
Oh,
folks out there who are familiar with said film, hopefully you picked up on that. If not, you stink.
I didn't
Okay.
get it.
Yeah,
I
you
guess I stink.
stink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, do you want to continue your sentiments on the young
Oh boy,
blood?
I'm very pixelated too.
Oh boy, you are a
Golly, what's
mess.
going on with me?
Am I pixelated or am I
I'm a
clear?
disaster.
Do
You're
I look good?
fine. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh
you look
boy. Oh
fine.
boy.
I look like I'm home video from 1992.
Let's try 1986.
Let's do it. I'll keep talking. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I might just need to close YouTube here. So we're flying blind. There we go. Where the hell was I?
You got too
Oh
much
yeah,
running on your computer, man. You're running out of RAM.
I got nothing.
You're
I
running
got
out of
nothing
the
going.
megs and the JPEGs and the whatever. Okay. Yeah, so, sorry.
Yeah.
What you were saying was, how this is kind of like shocking to you. It takes you. You thought you knew it
Yeah.
all, Mister Know It All, fake ass comic
And
book historian. But alas, you
hmm
stumble upon something like this and you're schooled.
yeah, I'm flipping to the back, and I come across Youngblood, coming from I think it was Megaton Comics by Bob Liefeld,
Mm,
1986. And it's I mean, if you read the blurb there, it's about a government sponsored team, which is kind of what Youngblood was.
right.
Just shocking to see something like that 6 years before it was even a thing. I didn't know it was on the burner for that long. Even though I mean, Rob is clearly a lifelong fan, very very passionate, loves the medium, and took great care in becoming part of it. And it's just really weird and cool to see it in print. I didn't expect it, and because I mean, Young not exactly a an original sounding title, so it's like it would stand to reason that there could have been 3 or 4 Youngbloods before that Youngblood,
Right. Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Huh.
Because I was expecting it was going to be like, because I saw Youngblood in like Megaton Comics, I'm like, oh, this is just some other book called Youngblood,
Right.
but no, no, it's and it's so weird. I mean, we know Rob and Bob are the same name, but to see him credited as Bob Liefeld is just weird.
I have a theory. I have
Hit
a
me.
suspicion that there is such a thing in this universe known as time travel, and somebody went back in time,
Okay.
and decided to call themselves Bob Liefeld because it's such a hot property. It's worth billions upon billions of
Yeah.
dollars. It's like saying that you created Google. You know what I mean? They went back in time, started the Youngblood franchise, called themselves Bob so there wouldn't be
They
any
squatted
confusion.
it.
Exactly. And then you and I are the only people that remember the actual timeline, our reality.
Uh-oh.
So the viewers right now are watching thinking, like, what are they talking about? Youngblood came out in 86 by Bob. Bobby!
It's the Bob Liefeld Bears.
There you
We're
go.
in Mandela universe now.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, so that's what happened, man. We're in a different,
Damn.
it's a different timeline, bro.
We are.
Put on your
We
tinfoil
are.
hat.
Wow.
Yeah, right on. But hey, man, that was
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty neat.
it is an interesting find, that's for sure, and it's something that you don't expect to
Yeah.
see every day. You know?
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very interesting. And it's always cool when you come across something that just, like, totally blindsides you. And that did. That definitely did.
Right on.
Rob was actually in town I think 2 weekends ago, signing some Youngblood stuff at a comic shop nearby. The prices they put on there were pretty insane, so I didn't go. But it would have been cool to have him sign just that little preview of Youngblood.
That probably would have been free.
Have him sign it as Bob.
Yeah. That would be great. You know what? You should do that.
$75.
Yeah, no, but you
Sign
know
this
what?
as Bob, please.
Yeah, next time he comes around, do that. Show up with that. Be like, can you sign this Bob Liefeld, please? Please. And that would be such a cool piece of ephemera. Dude, no joke.
It would be.
And that's right up your alley. Like nobody's business. So, yeah, totally do
You
that.
signed this as Bob Liefeld, man?
Liefeld, man. Yeah. Righteous. Yeah. You also did some digging, right? What do you got for some digs? You got anything to show off? A little show and tell? A little scratch and a sniff?
I got some stuff.
Okay, groovy.
I do. While I was at the shop, I did pick up the the freebies that they hand out here. You know, these things, DC, Marvel previews, and like an image thing. I never even knew this image thing existed.
I was unaware.
I saw this cover. Are we tired of this crap yet? Where it's like one person in the Marvel Universe kills the Marvel Universe? Like, are we done with that? Can we be done with that?
That's the thing, though, right?
Like, it wasn't. It's the thing, yeah. It wasn't funny when the Punisher did it 100 years ago. But do we need to do this? Especially when the back is this.
Predator kills the Marvel. Everybody's getting killed. You know what? What if it was
Can we
Willie
stop
Lumpkin?
that?
Willie Lumpkin smashes the Marvel Universe, and it's all about his sexual exploits throughout the 616. What do you say?
That's the follow up to Trouble.
Willie Lumpkin falls in
Mark Miller
love with the Marvel Universe.
with Willie Lumpkin wines and dines.
Yeah, sponsored by Astroglide. Willie Lumpkin loves the Marvel Universe. Yeah, I know it's very tired. It's very overdone, and that one in particular.
It's so tired.
I forgot how much that one shot is going to cost, but it is Ryan North wrote it. But every page, or it's supposed to be nothing but splash pages.
Is a splash.
Yes,
it's a
by Ed
splash.
McGuinness. So that's speaking about buying something strictly for the art, that in itself is kind of intriguing, I suppose. But I forgot what the price tag is on that. I think with the discount it was still like
$8.
Yeah, all right, there we go. So
It's $8. And do you want the Peach Momoko variant of Storm?
yeah,
Scream's Thing kills the Marvel Universe, right?
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Dude, those variant covers, man. I think it was even last episode we were talking about like the Disney variants. Would be a Spider-Man comic, but they put
so
like
dumb.
Iron Man on the cover, or like Mickey Mouse's Iron Man, whatever the hell it
Yeah,
was.
Mickey Mouse dressed as Iron Man
Yeah.
on a Spider-Man comic.
Right, and then like the even the header doesn't say Spider-Man; it says like Iron Man with the Mickey Mouse thing. But yeah, it's stupid stuff. But anyway, back
it's
onto your
ridiculous.
finds. Let's not talk about that again. I'm
Yeah.
sure, we can get into some more happier, funkier vibes, Willie Lumpkin style.
For sure, we can.
Yeah.
I love it. Now I was digging around in a dollar bin and I found a bunch of magazines that I've been trying to find.
Mm-hmm.
I've been collecting the Marvel Age comics, the whatever the hell we call them, in-house fanzines, whatever we would
Right.
refer to them as. I enjoy them a lot, um, basically because of what they are and how they're a thing that really can't exist now. I mentioned earlier that the industry is a little too self-aware and pleased with itself, to where I don't think they could put out something earnest without it being like a, lol, hey kids comics, isn't this
Mm-hmm.
silly? Sort of like you showed off that Zosky comic news thing a few
Yeah.
months ago,
Right.
and it's like 9.6 comics. Where does the point four go? Oh,
Yeah.
get out of here with that, please. I
Right.
mean, a little too cute by half. Um, After Marvel Age ended, Marvel went to a different book called Marvel Vision, and it is another in-house fan book. It's a lot of fun, because it came at a very humble time in the industry where like it was kind of all hands on deck. The bubble had burst or was in the midst of bursting, so Marvel was working with DC. They were working with Image. They were working with everybody. Everybody was working with everybody just to kind of stay afloat or try to hold on to whatever sales they were having in the in the gravy days.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of earnestness to this, and there's a lot of like there's like the silly Marvel moment or something is in here, and like it's like you remember when Iron Man added a nose to his armor, and it's like and it goes into like little tidbits about that kind of stuff. A lot of fun. Doesn't take itself too seriously, but doesn't make you feel like an idiot for liking comics either. I like that, and I don't think that could ever be replicated nowadays because I think we're all very superior, and I say that as someone like me. So I picked up a bunch of the Marvel Visions here. There's we've Onslaught showing up. Whatever this one is here. Cubit Love here. Got Batman on the cover of a Marvel magazine. Pretty neat. Got some Carlos Pacheco, and got the other Cubit on Hulk.
There we
So
go.
a lot of fun stuff in these things. Yeah, a lot of neat stuff.
Well, I mean,
Don't see them terribly often.
speaking of like Marvel Age or now Visions, maybe it's also like how we were
Yeah.
saying, the Metropolis newsletter on the inside of the Superman book is, an
Sure,
antiquated
sure.
thing. You know what I mean? Because everything is so real time now. All of our information, all the solicits, everything comes to us
Uh-huh.
fast and furious. So if you're trying to sell your own product, you don't
Sure.
need to come out with a pamphlet to do so anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still a fun thing to have. And like it's like it doesn't go full Wizard, where like Wizard was like the hey fanboy book.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like it's weird. It's like a weird '90s version of Stan Lee. It's very soapbox, Stan soapbox sort of feel to it, and it makes you feel like. I mean, it's weird coming at a time where like the company was full of corporate raiders and bankruptcy was looming. It made you feel like you were part of something.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a Marvel fan, a Marvel collector, a Marvel reader, it's like you were part of this little club. Times change, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Found this in the dollar bin, which is I didn't think I'd pick this up, but it was $1, and it's a death metal tie-in, and it moved me.
Really?
It's
Like your bowels?
It's about Superboy. No, my
Oh.
eyes.
Oh.
I mean, it's about Superboy Prime
Mm-hmm.
and his whole life, and I mean, folks who might not know who Superboy Prime was, he was an adopted kid on our Earth. He lived here where we live, and his parents named him Clark Kent. Problem is, there were Superman comics in his in his world, so people made fun of him for being named Clark Kent. He would wind up locked away in that wherever the hell after Crisis, and then after Infinite Crisis, he punched reality because he was quite upset, and became like the main big bad in DC for a minute. And then that whole Siegel and Schuster lawsuit happened, so they couldn't call him Superboy anymore. So he kind of just became Superman Prime, and then they kind of backburnered him, so he lost a lot of his steam. But here, I mean, a very very touching story here where like I'm a sucker for like anything involving a dog, clearly, but like to spoil a 6-year old or 5-year old book here, it's like Superboy dies and there's Crypto, you know,
Howling
and
at the
like you've seen
moon.
those stories, yeah, you've seen like those stories, those the heartstring tuggers where it's like a guy passes away but his dog refuses to leave his side,
Yeah.
and it's like that got me. That got me, and it's a very well done story. It's Snyder and I think Jeff Johns too. Yeah, Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns. I mean, it's a murderer's row here. Francis Manapul, Jerry Ordway, Paul
Yeah.
Pelletier.
That first page
I
looked
mean,
like
just
Ordway when they were showing Clark reading the books.
yeah.
Was that
Oh
Ordway?
yeah, that definitely it definitely looks like Ordway. Yeah.
Excuse me.
But I love this here. It's like 1984, and there's the rack. Yeah.
The spinner
You know?
rack.
And
Yeah.
it's all the DC books that were out.
Nice.
Yeah. And they're actual DC covers. It's pretty cool. Love that kind of stuff.
Well, hey,
So I haven't read any other death metal.
but that
but
was the
that
one,
was
and that's good. So don't read anything else. Don't. That was just that's it.
We peaked.
Do not. But that's great.
That's the pinnacle.
I want to give you a little fun fact, though, real quick. Is that if you see this tattoo on my arm, it was
Hit me.
it was not the brightest
Uh-huh.
idea to get in my youth because upside down, it looks funny, and this is the right way up. And the right way
I thought
up,
it was Maine.
It is. And the reason why I got this tattoo
okay.
is Superboy Prime is from Maine, and I decided to immortalize his hometown on my flesh. Actually, that's not the reason why I got it, but I was just playing.
It's
April Fools, late April Fools. But anyway, I thought it was cool that he was from Maine. You know, I was like, that's a real nice little touch. Superboy Prime's from Maine, man. That's neat. You know, I like Maine. I wasn't raised in Maine, but I love Maine. So, you know, there you go.
Never been.
You would love it.
Probably.
I know it. Guarantee it.
Maybe.
Just don't go in the wintertime.
Yeah. Now, I picked up a couple of Superman readers in a dollar bin a few weeks ago, and I mentioned that I'd left them downstairs last time.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they're in real rough condition, but here they are. I got Superman 220.
Nice.
Yeah, Flash and Superman here. Got this one. I've seen this one a bunch, but it was nice getting it for $1. It's in real shoddy shape, but
Or how's it
yeah, what
smell?
are you gonna do? It
Sniff it.
smells alright.
There you go. That's
Smells
$1
alright.
well spent, baby.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what?
intoxicating.
You ever seen people rub like the perfume things on their skin? Just take an old
Yeah.
musty comic and rub it all over yourself, and then go outside
I know it.
and then see how many people are attracted to you. None. But you know what? You think you smell great.
And the ones who are attracted to you, you don't want anywhere near you.
Someone get Kurt Busiek. Busiek the hell away from me. This Dan Slott, he has been on my leg, dry humping my leg all afternoon. Get him off of me. Just let him finish. Let
And he's
Dan
not
Slott
e-
finish.
And he's not even crouching.
Jesus Christ.
And he's not even
Jeez.
crouching.
Yeah, exactly. He's dry humping my leg. Yeah. Bad Slot. Bad.
And then yesterday I went to I went to a shop, just trying to get away. Just so after yesterday,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just gonna go dig.
You
I'm
gotta.
gonna go out.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting to find anything. That's where I found the Marvel Visions too yesterday. But I went and my collecting mission now is Batman and Detective, and so that's always the first place I go. And I'm usually like I go and it's like nothing still. But this time I went, and there was actually some silver into the Bronze Age Detective, and a couple of these I was going to buy for I think $15 to $20 a couple weekends ago. I went to a shop, and this was during like my real like fit, where it was like I can't find back issues anywhere. Like nobody's restocking. I just want to buy a damn back issue, you know. So like I went to this shop, and they were very overpriced and not in great condition. And it was like $20 for this one issue that had a fairly iconic cover, and I'm like, and I decided against it. And thankfully I did, because I found it for $3 yesterday, in probably as good or better condition. Let's see here. I picked up this one here, Detective 330. Yeah, 337. Yeah, if I can read, 337. The one that I almost bought a couple weeks ago was this one,
Ooh,
where Batman is writing his last will and testament, and he leaves the princely sum of $10.66 to Robin. I'm thinking that's a clue, to show him where he really is or something.
I could have used him for my bail.
Got a. I know it. I
Mm.
know it. Got this one here, the Creeper. This one here with the Black Spider. And then I actually got one from the fabled Englehart Rogers run, right there. Not bad for
Jazzy.
$3.
Yeah,
And it's
no,
funny
right on.
because on the back where it was taped, there was prices on the tape, and every one of them said $10. But the shop I was at was selling them for 3. I think
Nice.
maybe 2 of them were 4 and the rest were 3. So not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Was it
And,
their price tag, or was it a tag from 10 years ago that said $10?
it was probably a tag
Yeah,
from yeah.
right.
Yeah, so it was probably a tag from a while back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool to own an Englehart Rogers issue because when I was at Old Man Con, that entire run was like 30, $40 a pop. And I mean, there are some very iconic issues in that. But that's way too rich for my blood. So to get one from the run, because I have, that run is weird because it's not very long.
Mm-hmm.
And around it, there's like Englehart and Novick, and then there's is it Archie Good? No, maybe it's Jerry Conway and Marshall Rogers. So it's like you have one of the creators, and then you have that one run where it's both, where it's Englehart and Rogers. But it's neat to see. It's neat to own an issue with a Silver St. Cloud in it. It's pretty cool stuff. So happy to have it.
Right on. Good finds.
That is my hunt. Yeah,
Yeah.
very unexpected to come across those and those Marvel Visions, which I've been on the hunt for, big time. I wanted to get a full run of those Visions because it's funny, with all the research that I used to do and would love to do again. It's so much less fun researching Marvel. I don't know why. Marvel just doesn't really lend itself to research the way DC does. Hunting doesn't really, Marvel doesn't really lend itself to hunting. The hunting fun is less with Marvel than it is with DC. I don't know if that's like familiarity breeds contempt or familiarity just makes it so things aren't as exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hunt for like seeing an issue of like Strange Adventures with like a weird cover, like the thing I sent you the other day, it's like that jazzes me more than a Grunwald Cap issue. It's weird. It's weird. And then to research, I Marvel Visions are fun to look through. And I mean, if there were ever a time where I wrote about comics again, it's like, okay, I have all this stuff about Onslaught right now. I mean, if I was gonna write something about Onslaught, I got something I can cite from that isn't Wikipedia or the Marvel Wiki or some other person's blog. So I'm always in that like collecting the information mindset. So it's neat to get those.
Well, at least with the Visions, as you mentioned, there's a little dash of humor in there. A little.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is cool. Very cool indeed. I dig it, man. And you know what? It's nothing better than like you want to.
Me too.
You want to invest in a comic, and you might be willing to spend the $20 or whatever because you want it. But then you hold off.
Mm-hmm.
You stay patient, and you find
it pays off.
You find it shortly thereafter at a steep discount compared to what you were willing to pay for it before, or hesitant to pay for it before. You know what I mean? So that's
Sure.
I don't know, Harley Quinn number 15 or Deadpool
Slapstick number 3.
Yeah, Deadpool, I don't know,
Kills the Marvel Universe again, part 3.
on a trampoline. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be here. But yeah, the possibilities were endless, but you wanted something, that you kind of had a slight affection for.
Yeah, that's in the wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I'll tell you what. if you don't have any more things for show and tell,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of Wheelhouse, you know what I love and I
I
enjoy that's
don't.
always in my. I'm gonna do this
Was
till I get
that?
dizzy. Woo, woo, woo. Those are emails
Making
from
me dizzy.
Chris Yu.
Oh
So what do
yeah.
you say you load that up?
Let's
Because
do it. Here, let me.
I'm always a bad guy because I never talk about the other members of the show until as far into the program. I mean, right now we are at 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I haven't talked about the other contributors to what we do here. Um, so why don't I do that
That
right
is
now while you're
true.
queuing up the emails? Bada Bot, are you there? Bada Bot, I'm sorry if I made you upset. Oh, Bada Bot, you're still there. Thank you very
Hmm.
much. It is a pleasure to hear your clicking and
Gotta get the
clacking.
bird.
You have the bird. The bird is here. And Bada Bird, hello.
Bird up.
The bird's here.
Yeah. One more time for good measure.
Bird up.
Here we go. Yes, Bada Bot, I'm sorry I didn't give you as
There he
much
is.
love as Bada Bird, but Bada Bird is in physical Bada Bird shortly during the Chris U email seg.
We
So
are.
stay patient, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely,
More
we
good
are.
things are coming. Do you have that email queued up and ready to rock and roll? Mind you, it is from a couple
I
weeks
do.
ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is pre-prison.
Yeah,
email
well,
here.
hey.
Here, let me make it big because my eyes suck. There we go. I'm wondering if maybe your neighbor is just getting ready for Christmas in July.
You know, that did cross my mind.
be.
Those, the year-long tree, it was decorated for St. Patrick's Day. And guess what? I'm
Could
never
be.
going to find
Could
out
be.
because I got to
Could
stay
be.
away at least 500 feet.
Yeah, because you have that. You've got that ankle monitor on now.
You didn't have to tell everybody
good.
about that. That was my secret about my jewelry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just wait till I start dropping secrets about
My
you.
secret shame.
Yeah, I'm gonna start dropping little dollops of information about
know.
Chris here on the internet any day now, people, in retaliation. But alas, let's get to Chris U and see what he's got cracking lacking via electronic mail.
Yes, he opens with sad news about Peter David passing. But at least we'll always have his legendary runs in comics to remember him by. He was one of those writers that I would follow no matter what he was writing, and one of the writers who would make me stop buying a title when he left it. I stopped collecting the Hulk when his run ended and did the same with Aquaman. Rest in peace, P.A.D. And it's weird, I mean, I didn't collect those as they were coming out, but the Hulk run I kept going, of course, but Aquaman, like my little back issue shopping list is, I think it even says like Aquaman pad on it because
really?
I don't need the let me see if I can find it here. DC Comics to look for. Yep, I don't know if you can see that. It says Aquaman pad.
I cannot.
It's
You're a
just
little
his run.
blurry, but I take your word for it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're still
Yeah.
pixelated.
because it's like I'm terrible. But yeah, it's like I don't need the Larson stuff. I don't need
Yeah.
any of the other stuff. I just want the Peter David, you know?
Yeah. Right on.
Chris Yu says, let's bada babble. I didn't care much for the absolute Mr. Freeze two-parter, but I did enjoy the backstory of young Bruce Wayne and his group of little rascals. Matches Malone was interesting since he hasn't been seen as a member of young Bruce's friend group just yet. For me, the young Bruce parts of Absolute Batman have been my favorites. I guess I'm just more interested in what made this Bruce become Batman and less interested in his actual adventures as Batman. I could see that.
Okay.
I mean, it's... Because really, I feel like they haven't really fleshed out what he does as Batman just yet. It's like just like action scenes, really, that are framing the backstory. Maybe that's intentional.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know,
I haven't read
initially-
the Mr. Freeze stuff yet.
well,
Yeah.
just initially when they was like, okay, he's a blue collar guy. He would hack
Mm-hmm.
into like servers or something on a job site he was working on.
Sure.
So he's very, you know, clever in doing those sort of things since he's not wealthy in this universe.
Sure.
But yeah, as far as, you know, completely trying to establish his. Well, you know, they do dive really into his personal life, but yeah, not exactly as Chris you just stated, like, and you were just talking about there. So yeah, I guess you guys are right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Could be. Could be. He continues.
Okay.
I don't see Elron as a breakout star. He's a fine supporting character, but sometimes it seems like he has no other character traits other than being the punchline. They could try to do something like Ambush Bug with him, but I don't think it would work. On a side note, did DC ever explain how Elron got back into his robot body? Last I knew, he was running around in Despero's body with the Justice League Task Force. Task Force.
Boy.
I know that was a few continuities ago,
Yeah.
and continuity doesn't matter anymore, but that is the question I have whenever I see Elron in Fire and Ice. I barely remember that. Task Force was... I mean, I have my... I have a JLI box, which is basically that entire era. So it's, you know, the Giffen DeMatteis stuff into the Jurgen stuff, that whole run. It's Justice League Europe, which became International. It's Extreme Justice. It's Justice League Quarterly, and it's Justice League Task Force. It's all those, that mess that was basically the entirety of the Justice League for that little era. Task Force sucked.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that though, him being in the flesh.
Yeah.
What I do want to say is this in response to that, because I was doing the boo to Chris Yu thing.
Yeah.
Because listen, guys, you were in the same boat with this, where I was like, okay, man, I compared it to like Jeff the Land Shark before, where you know you could use Elron and make it like a quirky little fun, maybe an online book or something, you know, like Marvel does with the Infinity comics or the Marvel Unlimited, or you know what, if they went that same route, DC might have a little breakout hit with Elron. Well, you know what? No, shortly thereafter, me bringing that up and you saying, no, Dave, you are an idiot. That is not a plausible scenario. Marvel goes
exactly
out.
What I said.
Yes, exactly. Quoting you here. Marvel is releasing a Herbie book on Marvel Infinity Comics here, as if I knew what Infinity really was. It just says it on the cover. So
I wonder why they're putting out a Herbie book right now.
Well, Herbie's going to be in the new movie.
I wonder.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah, but Herbie still sucks.
Herpes does suck. And if you do think you have herpes, make sure you go to the clinic immediately.
Do the responsible thing.
Yes. Contact Willie Lumpkin and let him know you gave me some
He'll meet
itchies
you
and
at the
scratchies.
dumpster behind the 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Thanks for the open sores there, Lumpkin. But anyway, look, man, if you could do something with Herbie now, for crying out loud.
You can't.
But listen, they are doing something with it. I'm just saying.
But it's not going to be good.
Well, listen. That's not the point here. The point, what I'm trying to make is, you can still do something with Elron and give it a shot.
It won't be good though.
You know what? Let me do it.
I mean, we have that's a universe that has Skeets in it. Give us a Skeets book instead.
How about Skeets and Elron together, a team up book?
Is one going to be a slob and one will be a neat freak?
One will eat chili dogs with reckless abandon. And
the other will have skin tags.
Raisinets all over his neck. The other will have...
Will either of them pay their taxes?
Yeah, no. But the other one will be ready with wet naps, holding a bucket, a large container of napkins. There you go, sure. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Partially used napkins, yes.
Hey, man, you know what? Reuse, recycle.
You got to.
Save the planet. Yeah. But anyway, my point is still the same. I made it. I rule. You guys drool. Chris, you continues.
When they make the Fire and Ice movie, maybe then Elron will get his digital book. Let's see here. Chris, you continues.
Yes, please.
I have no plans to read the Batman Deadpool crossover books.
Okay.
Marvel and DC are going to have to dig deeper into their character depths to get me to buy a new crossover book. Maybe if they gave us something like with a protracted battle between Wolverine and Deathstroke, which I've been wishing for since the new Teen Titans X-Men crossover from the 80s, I would buy that. They may even get me to buy another new printing of JLA Avengers if they threw in some new behind-the-scenes articles and interviews. They did re-release JLA Avengers around the time that George Perez passed away. But they did it in a very, very stupid way, where it was like limited to very, very few. And they were like, they immediately went to scalpers. You know, so it was half pregnant. You know, it's like we want to pay tribute to this incredibly talented artist who's given so much to this industry and this art form that we're going to paywall it and make sure it gets scalped. Ridiculous. I don't know if it came with anything extra, but I know it was damn hard to come by, and I haven't looked it up on eBay or nothing, but I'm sure it's a toughie.
You're right. That was ill-fated from the get-go. They should have known better. And to be honest with you, just
put it out.
Printed as many copies as humanly possible, made them $10, and they would have sold so many of those friggin' things.
Oh God!
It would have.
George Perez's work would be on everybody's bookshelf right now, where it belongs.
Yeah.
But instead, they had to be dicks.
Yep, and you could have donated that money to his family, charities, whatever you wanted.
Anything you want. His favorite charity, whatever. Yep. A scholarship in his name.
Exclusivity means hello, scalper.
Word up.
Bird up.
Bird up.
Bird up.
Okay.
That was a late one for you. A late
oh, he had a frog in his throat.
Whoops.
Now, have we gotten any news on what might be next from these crossovers?
I have not. I haven't seen anything come across my little news feed there because I'm not looking or searching for it.
Not looking for
it. It's just I open Google. Hey, look at here. It's the news. Yeah. Right.
Chris, you continues.
Yes.
Because I don't know what's coming next. I couldn't even make any assumptions with what might be coming next.
Right.
I'd be down for Wolverine Deathstroke story. I don't know that Deathstroke really has that kind of zhuzh in him right now. Especially with what's going on. Chris, you had asked how the new Titans book is going, and I caught up on it, and but back to Chris, you. To answer my own question, this is a question he asked us a couple of episodes ago, or last episode. My favorite company-wide crossover is Dave's favorite, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Duh.
It was my first DC crossover, and I just loved how it brought together all of the disparate DC characters in one place. I'd been a huge fan of the annual JLA-JSA team-up since I could remember, and Crisis was that on steroids for me. Plus, it could be read on its own or in conjunction with all of its myriad of tie-in crossovers. Neither way of reading the crossover detracts from the overall story. For me, this was a company-wide crossover done right.
Hey, man.
When did you first read Crisis?
When did I first read Crisis? I remember, what issue was it with? It was like the Villains jam cover.
Oh, yeah. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
I don't want to say it was like 9 or something. I guess I could, in fact, Google it and find out. But off the top of my head, I want to say it was that. But anyway, that issue was the first issue of Crisis I had in my grubby little paws when I was a kid. So that was probably picked up at like a supermarket or something. And that being said, I'm trying to like date it now. Because back then, if you recall, comics...
The Villain Jam was 9.
Okay, 9. Really great. I was right on the money.
Yeah.
They would sit on that shelf for 6 months, 7 months, or whatever.
Oh, sure.
So whenever around that period of time is when I first saw it as a kid.
Okay. When was the first time you read it all the way through?
Ooh, I was probably early 20s.
Okay. Did you have a basis of DC knowledge at that point?
Yeah,
like,
early 20s.
Were you able to understand it?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because I read it when I first got into DC. It was like the first DC trade I bought. Like an idiot. Because it's like, oh, well, this is where everything starts right here, right? This is the jumping on point. This is where everything becomes what it's going to become. And dude, I was lost. I don't even know how I got through it. I did, but I don't know how, because that was a toughie. That was a damn toughie. I've only read it twice. I read it that one time when I was like 19, and I read it for the treadmill. So it's been only twice. And with the treadmill, it was more research based than actually following the story. So I don't know that I've ever actually read it not wanting to discuss it or with an actual basis of knowledge in what a pre-crisis was, what a post-crisis is, and what everything else means in between. So I might need to read it again, or try to. I don't know.
You know, I was gonna say, as far as importance goes.
Oh yeah, it's up there as
It,
probably the most.
exactly. So we'll always
Yeah,
give it that, no matter what. I'm the one who put the quality of the story in question, which angered Chris Yu to the point where he's willing to throw turds at me like an upset gorilla. But
it's true.
alas, I get to call him as I see him. You know what I mean? Here we are, 2025. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday next week. I'm now entering my late 40s, despite this
Mm-hmm.
youthful glow upon my
Visage.
skin. Yes, all this pizzazz going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just felt tedious and hard to read at this stage of my life. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
the fact that when I tell you the first time I read it in its entirety was in my 20s, I'm just kind of guessing.
Sure.
Because it's been so long. I don't know, man. And even then, it didn't have that kind of impact. I mean, everybody knows the real hits from it, right? Whether it's the death of Barry or the iconic
Supergirl.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you know what I mean? Like we all know those iconic moments from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is great because it provides those. But then to read it in its entirety, despite the fact that how important it is, does Mr. Wolfman not put you to sleep? That's the question.
Could be.
You know what? That's
Could
what I
be.
want. That's what I want for my birthday. Marv Wolfman, come to my home, sit in a rocking chair,
And
uh,
read Crisis to you?
and just so I can have a good night's rest. I don't have to work the next day. I can sleep in. And Marv just use those nice, soothing tones and put me to bed.
And then Pariah says,
I know, right? I'm Marv Wolfman. You want to sit on my lap?
"Oh, oh, alas, Earth 3 just died."
Oh no, Lady Quark.
Oh, that's one of those like very Perez character designs. Like no
Oh
one else can
jeez.
make Lady Quark work. It's very, very weird. Pariah too. I mean, all those like curly haired, ruffly characters. It's. I mean, not that Lady Quark is
Well,
curly haired.
hey, earlier
Uh,
in the show we talked about you can't think of any titles that you currently buy strictly on
mhm,
art alone. Well,
sure.
there you go. So if you have the point of view or opinion as I do that the story isn't really or doesn't hold up so well
Mhm,
now, you can still have
yeah.
visual delights and just George Perez galore, a feast for the
Yeah.
eyes
Yeah.
by looking at Crisis.
For sure.
Hmm.
Oh, to go back to something that Chris Yu had asked a couple of emails ago, he
Mm.
asked if we thought that they'd start making facsimiles of story arcs, right? And he cited that they did it for Crisis and Secret Wars.
Hmm.
They're doing it for Hush right now.
Didn't you bring that up
The
last
original.
episode? Because I was like,
Did
no.
I?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was like, no, they're not going to do
Okay.
that. And you were like, yeah, they are. And you made me look like a goddamn idiot to the free
Yeah,
world.
because I was at a shop a couple weeks ago and they had all the original Hush, and
Mm.
I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, oh god, those are facsimiles of dollar books. What happened to us? It's pretty ridiculous.
Some
I
people
don't
don't
know
have
who those are
bins.
for.
Maybe it's the
I
people who don't have
guess.
the internet, can't look online, or don't want to pay the shipping. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is your
Because
video.
like you
All of a
could.
sudden, listen, man. I know we've been talking about the quality of the
Uh
show
huh.
and stuff throughout and you were very pixelated, very blurry. Now all of a sudden, you're as clear can be.
Hey,
But
I
what
like it.
happened? Did you do anything on your computer?
I didn't do anything to anything. Yeah. I guess
Locked
it's
down.
just an okay time.
All right, Chris, you
Yeah, we'll go
continues.
with it.
Okay.
He does.
Okay.
For me, the absolute worst crossover of all time is. Any guesses?
The worst.
The
Um.
worst of all time. His favorite is Crisis. His least favorite, or maybe favorite isn't even in the nomenclature here. The worst one ever is
Civil War. What was it?
Secret Wars 2.
Oh, Secret. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm sorry. Jeez. I knew there had to be a war in there.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, you know what? You know what I get? Yeah. Okay.
Do not pass go, Dave.
Sorry.
Do not pass go.
I won't.
Back to jail.
You know what? I don't want to go back to jail. I really don't. Didn't you see that
I thought
picture
you were
from
gonna-
earlier?
I thought you were going to come out with like Bada bird tattooed on your knuckles.
You know what? Next time I'm trapped in the clink, I might just have to
Jerry,
do
hello.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There we go. Let me show it again one more time. There I am. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Jerry, hello. I'm saying.
Don't drink the soda.
I'm in there with Andy Dufresne. I don't eat no pudding pops. Please, no pudding pops. Look at the look on my face. I think something already happened. Hello.
Might have.
Oh boy, Bada bird. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Where on the bird did he touch you?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Show us some Bada bird. Show us. Ooh. No good. Yeah.
Okay, so back to Chris Yu.
Yeah.
For him, the absolute worst crossover of all time was Secret Wars 2. Not for the story that it was told, but for the way it was told. That it told the story with the crossovers. Mm-hmm. 2 examples of what I mean by that. First, the resolution of the talisman trapped in Shaman's medicine pouch storyline started in Alpha Flight, but had its resolution in the Secret Wars 2 miniseries. So, if you weren't reading Secret Wars 2, you did not see the resolution of the talisman storyline that you'd become invested in the pages of Alpha Flight. Second, in an issue of New Mutants, all of the team were killed off by the Beyonder in their tie-in issue. Then, in the next monthly issue of the New Mutants, the whole team is alive again with no explanation. You needed to read the issue of Secret Wars 2 to see how they were resurrected. Many of the omnibuses and trade collections of the series from that time need to include some pages from issues of Secret Wars 2 just to have the storyline contained within the pages of the monthly books make sense. This is a crossover done wrong, in my opinion.
What, is there such thing as a Secret
I could
Wars
agree
2
with that.
omnibus? Does that even exist?
I'm sure there is. I think he's talking about like a New Mutants omnibus.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like where it would have to have pages from Secret Wars 2, so like you weren't reading, oh, they're dead, and oh, they're back. You know?
All right.
But I'm sure there's a Secret Wars 2 omnibus.
It might have been
Secret
one of the
Wars
first
2.
episodes of Bada Bin when I brought up the story when I saw like the pack of Secret Wars 2 on the wall. And I was like, how much you guys want for that? And he was like, oh yeah, we want whatever it was, $50, $100 or something like whatever it was. I was just like, my jaw probably could have freaking fell through the floor and built a pool faster than the one being constructed at your house. You know what I mean?
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
I just searched for the Secret Wars 2 omnibus.
Sure,
and it took me to Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And there is one in stock. This book came out, it's a hardcover, of course. It came out May 12th, 2009. Any guesses what they want for it?
Should we play a game surrounding this, or is it that
I don't
worthy?
even know if we should.
Okay.
This is insane.
$200.
Low.
Wait, ho ho. Hey.
I'm thinking it probably had around a $200 cover price.
Really? $500.
I'm thinking. Low.
Get out of here.
Way low.
On Amazon. So there's one person selling it. So not necessarily Amazon, but there's someone selling it on Amazon for $1,000.
$3,500.
Get out of here.
Nope.
Who the hell would pay that?
What a moron!
Jeez. Who would pay that for that? Get out of here.
That's insanity.
Wow.
It had a $100 cover price.
Woo. That's the only place you can find it?
That's the only place that came up. Let's see if it's on eBay. I want to actually go to eBay, not Google's version of eBay. Secret Wars 2 Omnibus. Okay, please finish the word. There we go. God, it's not even there. are there there's Secret Wars 1 omnibuses. And I want to thank Chris Yu for actually putting the word omnibuses in his email instead of saying omnibuy, because that's not a word.
Okay.
See here. How do you find sold things here?
There's a little filter, I think. It was like, on mobile, it's in the upper right-hand corner. Omnibuy.
See here. I can't.
Okay.
I can't find. I can never find anything on eBay.
All right. Well.
Show only. Could I just see sold items?
Maybe. Let's see. Let me let my fingers do some walking here too, just real quick like bunny, and see if I can come up with anything at all. As soon as I can find my. Gosh darn it, rootin' tootin'. I suck. We both suck. It doesn't exist. We're imagining things. How's that sound?
Okay. Oh, here's one on eBay. Secret Wars 2 Marvel Omnibus 2009 hardcover first printing. $659.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would anybody? Yeah, the first thing that pops up is the Amazon link for $3,499.99.
Isn't that silly, dude?
Wow. Holy.
Yeah.
Well, I think whatever you find the regular single issues priced at, they're a bargain compared to getting an omnibus. With, you know what I mean? You could buy every tie-in, everything, and still spend a fraction.
You could buy every tie-in 10 times.
Yeah, there you go.
These are 50 cent a dollar books. I only had one on my shopping list. I think it was Secret Wars 2 number 5 because it was the first appearance of Boom Boom. Okay. That was the only one that I wanted.
Right. Well, there we are. And we just thanks, Chris Yu. You just had us both looking at something we did not expect to be digging on Google this evening. And we're shocked and amazed and wowed.
We are wowed. And he wraps up with, I hope that Aubrey is able to help you grow your cat viewership for the show. And I hope so too. We do need more cats watching.
Indeed. Not that it'd be of any service to Bada Bird, who is always weary of feline, predators. Now, I want to add something to the tail end, pun intended, of Chris Yu's email, because on Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram at badabinshow. His wife, his lovely better half, reached out and sent us a DM because Chris Yu decided to hunt down. Well, actually, I shouldn't say hunt because that seems vicious.
Wild.
He went into the wild and managed to capture and bring home a Bada Bird of his own to join the club. So there we have
Bird
it.
up.
Chris Yu, there it is on his very bookshelf. So we're also looking at his reading preferences next to Captain America there. And actually, there's a book up top that says Becky Lynch, The Man. I didn't realize people read autobiographies or books written by wrestlers, but now I've been schooled to the fact that they, in fact, exist. I just said fact twice. Anyway, yeah, so he has the Bada Bird as well. So, Bada Bird's distant cousin. Right there.
Yep.
Very nice.
It's true.
I am late to the party. I do not have a Bada Bird, but
you need a Bada Bird.
Maybe
you got to go to Target.
Target. Maybe I'll go to Target with Mav. And
and if you look in the top right of his photo,
yes,
he's got a couple of novelizations of No Man's Land.
Ooh.
Oh. Yes, when we were doing NML Crossing, he wrote in and said that there is not only a novelization of No Man's Land, I think Greg Rucka wrote it. There's also a young adults version, like a young readers version of the No Man's Land novel, which I think one of them is very, very focused on Nick Scratch, and one doesn't mention him at all.
Well, any book
so I know which one I want.
Yeah, I was gonna say any book about Nick Scratch. Come on, that should be $3,499.99 on Amazon, right?
Right. I mean, Asriel number whatever the hell it was. Yeah. I mean, that's
there you go. Yeah. What's up?
That's my Elseworlds book. No Man's World.
No Man's World.
Yeah. No Man's World.
Yeah. Well, one more time for the old Chris Yu. This is for him alone, nobody else.
Bird up.
Okay, I just can't help it. I like pushing buttons. What can I say? And I'm
Buttons are fun.
dying to push the Valentino button. You know what? As a matter of fact, since next week is my birthday, we're gonna have to change up
Mm-hmm.
the whole recording or jamming schedule, the live stream thing.
Okay.
And I was thinking, I believe my birthday is on Wednesday. I would like to do a Wednesday show,
Mm-hmm.
if that's permissible.
Probably. Let's see here. Yes, your birthday is Wednesday.
Okay. And
It's all day long, according to my
wonderful,
calendar
because according to my calendar,
there
it only lasts.
is.
It only lasts for 15 minutes. And I do think that as not only a present to myself from you,
Mhm.
but to the entire viewership or the entire free world, we should lead off the show rather than the Bada Bin intro music, but with the Valentino song. This is what we should do. Dude, that was the worst response than what you gave for the new Batman logo. Like your face right there was like,
Okay.
yeah, you just had like the worst indigestion ever. Like, there's not enough Malox or any kind of remedy in the
Tom
world
tom tom tom.
exactly to cure the stomach woes that you have when I bring up the Valentino song. What is it about the Valentino song so specifically that offends you that deeply? Is it the passing of the
know.
gas? Is it the
That's part of it.
okay? All right. Well, hey, actually, next Wednesday, is that going to be the first week that you're free in the afternoon? Again?
Well,
Or no?
actually, I'm working Monday through Wednesday now. So
Dang.
yeah, so Thursday, Friday I'm off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'm off.
Well, maybe we could do one Thursday. I don't know. I miss doing the afternoons compared to the evenings.
Oh yeah, me too.
I
Me too.
love doing the afternoon shows.
Oh yeah, because I mean, for me that was like 9 in the morning. It was as fresh as a daisy.
Yeah. You get to strut your stuff for the
Yeah.
rest of the day, being like, I'm an internet YouTube superstar. You know? A
It's
little
true.
talk in the walk, or what do they say? Something like that. There
Cock
you
of the
go.
walk.
Cock of the walk.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting my incorrect cock.
Have you ever been identified in public?
No. And you know what? It's about time I was. So we
I'd
need to
say
start
so.
spreading the word about the Bada Bin show somehow.
Mhm.
The normal means and
If I saw
channels-
you in public, I'd point you out.
Yeah. And say, that's the guy who broke into that house trying to see if they still had a Christmas tree. That's that guy right there.
It's
He's
true.
been banned from Chuck E. Cheese in 6 states.
Mhm.
All right, but anyway, it's up in the air because I'm willing to sacrifice a birthday show for an afternoon show.
Mhm.
So if Thursday works, that might be the best bet.
Boy. We'll see. We'll see how it go. Yeah.
Play it by ear.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I don't know. Because I think I'm working 6 to 2:30, so that's 4:30 your time when I get out. So I don't know if that's too late.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. See what
Yeah,
the
we'll
public
figure it
demands. See how many people email us badabinshow and ask about cats at Gmail. Ask about cats or the time of the program, whatever the case may be there. But I do think it's time we wrap it up, unlike Willie Lumpkin, and get the heck out of here.
Okay.
So I can go or try to get some sleep. You know, I do have
He never wraps it up.
Willie. No. He's the Wilt Chamberlain of the 616.
It's a different feeling. He doesn't. Yeah.
I was gonna say something so rude and lewd. It would change our show from like PG-13 to R. So I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. I was gonna say I do have the trade of Crisis over there, so maybe I'll let that
put it in the epic lineup.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I'll let that soothe me to sleep. But I do want to thank everybody for watching the show. I appreciate it. Virtual hugs for all of you. Chris, do you have anything you'd like to add before I hit the outro music and say goodbye
Absolutely.
to your face? Anything? Any words of
No,
wisdom?
just sorry we missed last week. We will try to. Am I talking, or I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't know.
I
if
can
froze.
hear you. You're
Did I
still a little
froze?
pixelated, but I can most definitely hear you. And that's the most
okay.
important thing is your voice.
I don't know what's going on here, right? Because you froze and then I froze. Yes. That's my value. No, just sorry we missed last week. We'll try not to make a habit of that. Dave was in jail. I was in a hole in the ground. We'll figure it out.
We will.
We'll figure
We
it
will.
out.
And we'll try to get you
But
less
thank you all so
pixelated.
much for hanging out with us tonight.
The righteous.
Fingers crossed. I might need to rewire. I might need to rewire the entire house. We'll see.
Okay. Until
see.
then, we will figure
Same
it out.
Bada time. Yeah.
Same Bada times. Well, maybe not same Bada time, but same Bada channel, and we will see you later, alligator.